Good evening, everybody. My name is Scott Newton, Athletic Director in Osceola. First of all, thank you for attending tonight. We were talking about it at our table tonight. It's kind of the start for a lot of the seniors. I feel like every year this is the start of a fast finish for you, and especially the way the weather is right now. It's going to go extremely fast, which I'm sure most of you guys are in spring sports. I get the great opportunity here to kind of reflect upon the last year, going back to last spring. We say this every year, and we truly believe this is probably for our division, the toughest conference in the state. For how our kids perform, not only in our conference season, of course, which are battles every night during the day, but also how we perform during the tournament time. And as you go about it, going back to last spring, track is well, I guess last night most of our schools here should have been in the indoor meet. But as you look at it and how we performed last year, Amory had a state champion in 100-meter dash, and I'm going to probably say the name incorrectly, so I apologize for that. But Luciana Espera in the 100-meter dash. You talk about the teams. Osceola won the conference meet last year, both boys and girls, regional champs as well. In softball last year, Baldwin Woodville were our conference champs. But from that then, though, we talk about baseball, with Altoona winning conference, and then Osceola and I believe it was Altoona went to the sectionals, and working their way down. Some high points, which I think is a pretty cool thing from the last year. Every school in our conference won a conference event. We're conference champions in an event, which I don't think does not happen every year. Think about this last fall. Prescott, huge congratulations to you guys, 3-time state champions in girls golf. We had an individual state champion in Ava Saleh. Football, once again, we had 4 teams that made the playoffs. All 4 teams won their first round game. And then, typically what happens is Middleburg teams kind of knock each other out of the playoffs. We all had to play a tough team in Columbus this last year, but I think our teams were definitely the top team as they were playing in the state game. As you go through girls tennis, Altoona won conference and also made the team state. Wintertime, wrestling. I think the year ended with 3 of our teams being ranked in the top 10, with Baldwin, Amory, and St. Croix Central, and I know Ellsworth is probably right there on the bubble as well. With Amory winning conference, but Baldwin going to team state. We had 2 state champions in Coy Hopke and White Ingham, and probably, from what I've seen, we probably have the best wrestler in the state of Wisconsin, and definitely a ranked kid number 1 ranked kid in the nation, in Coy Hopke. Girls basketball, Prescott was conference champion, but our sectional finalist this last year was Somerset. Shows how strong the conference was with our competition amongst our lady basketball players. Boys basketball this last year, Osceola, and they made it to the sectional finals. Hockey, Baldwin Woodville, and Amory were co-champs, along with Amory was a sectional finalist this last year. It goes on and how our teams perform. I cannot thank enough. One, I know, being involved in this conference for many years, the coaches in this conference do a phenomenal job. Rarely can you show up and not be prepared. You can't be prepared. Our coaches do a phenomenal job working with our kids. You look at the programs from the fall time through the springtime. Our kids are competing. They're having a great time. Watching the kids last night at the indoor meet at River Falls, it's just fun watching the kids get after it and watching the coaches coach. Thank you to the parents, grandparents, family members that are here tonight. Huge support for you guys and what you're providing your child. It's part of the system, right? And what we do, and hopefully provide what they go on to the next step. And that's all this is right now, is kind of a step in their life and going on to the next phase of their life. So before I move on, just congratulations to the individuals in here. Definitely earned it academically and athletically. Way to represent your community, and good luck the rest of the way.
Good evening, Brian Johnson, AD at St. Croix Central. I have the privilege of welcoming Chip Schneider, our keynote speaker, to this stage tonight. So please help me give a round of applause for Chip. As he's making his way to the stage, I'm going to start reading his bio. It is lengthy with a long, long list of accomplishments. Chip's entering his 21st season as the head coach for men's and track and field, and his 17th season for women's track and field. He also serves as the director of cross country at UW Eau Claire. The Blue Goals have been successful at the NCAA national level for Schneider, finishing as a team in the top 10 29 times. Chips led the women's teams to 11 top 10 finishes, and his men's teams have had 18 top 10 NCAA finishes. Of those, his men's teams have been national champions 5 times. Indoor, they were champs in 2015, 2016, and 2022, and outdoor champions in 2019 and 2022. Teams have flourished under Coach Schneider, but individuals have also, and relays have had great success. He's coached 204 individual All-Americans, 47 All-American relay teams, 167 total conference championship titles, 145 school records that have been broken. He also was the 2008 WIAC Women's Indoor and Outdoor Coach of the Year, the 2015 U.S. Track and Field Cross Country Coaches Association Division III Indoor Coach of the Year, same award in 2016. In 2017, he was the WIAC Women's Outdoor Coach of the Year. In 2019, again, he was the D3 Outdoor Coach of the Year. In 2019, he was the WIAC Women's Outdoor Coach of the Year. In 2020, the NCAA Midwest Region Men's Indoor Head Coach of the Year. In 2022, U.S. Track and Field Cross Country Association's D3 Outdoor Coach of the Year. He earned his bachelor's degree at Platteville in 1995. He was a national champion in the long jump and in the 400-meter hurdles. He was an 8-time individual All-American, 4-time UW Platteville Track and Field Most Valuable Athlete, and 3-time captain. In 1994, he was named the UW Platteville Student Athlete of the Year. He also earned the Wisconsin State University Conference Academic All-Conference Honors. Chip was inducted into the UW Platteville Athletic Hall of Fame in 2013 and was also named to the WIAC All-Time Track and Field Team. Before coming to Eau Claire, Schneider was a graduate assistant coach at UW La Crosse, where he coached hurdles, long jump, triple jump, and sprints for the 2002 Men's Indoor and Outdoor NCAA Division III National Champions. Coached for 2 seasons at UW Platteville, once in 1995 and 96, and again in 99-2001 for the sprints, hurdles, and jumps. Schneider was a lead instructor at the University of Wisconsin Learn by Doing camp between 2007 and 2009 in hurdles and sprints. Chip and his wife Joanna reside in Eau Claire. They're the parents of Drake Schneider, an NCAA D1 track and field All-American in the 400-meter hurdles, and a graduate of Montana State University. I feel extremely fortunate to have Chip here to speak to us tonight. Again, help me welcome Chip.
Thank you. Wow. Just means I'm old. A lot of that means that you're old. Some of you will probably be doing way more than that when you get to be my age. But first off, I want to thank you for having me tonight. It's a privilege to be at something like this. Scholar athletes, that's what we're looking for, where I work every day. So to be amongst you, it's an honor. I know sometimes I wasn't the best student, wasn't the best athlete, but I think I did my best to try to do both well, and obviously a lot of you are doing the same thing. So after being in Eau Claire for 21 years, you get invited to some of these things once in a while because they figure if you're winning, you must know something. So I will also start with this. They tell you all the times that you win. He could have read probably 2 times, 3 times about all the times I've lost. Okay, so I'm going to try to tell you what I think helped me win, not what helped me lose. So, but to be honest, I was just having a conversation with Brian before I came in here, and I said, you know, I started in Eau Claire in 2003, but the first time I won a national title was 2015. So, and Adam Koger, who's at Ellsworth, he was one of my first recruits, actually. So he helped me through some of the struggles. He was one of my few really good athletes on my team back when I first started, and trust me, there was a lot of struggles, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But here's some of the things over my 21 years of coaching and 18 plus years of trying to compete that I feel are very key to being successful, at least as a personal, in my personal experience, and as a coach. So the first thing I would say is love. This is a tough one to speak about because my wife's in the back room, but I'm going to talk about my first love in front of her and hope that the car ride home's not too quiet. But I remember I grew up in a small town, Lancaster, Wisconsin, graduated with like 91 kids. But in first grade, Kathy Rick, she was fast, because I remember we used to chase her around at recess just to see if we could catch her. And then in May, the last week of school every year, we would have this thing called Play Day. And all the classrooms would compete against each other. So you'd do things like tug of war or three-legged races, or like hold an egg on a spoon and see if you can run with it. Probably won't do that anymore. Eggs cost too much. But the last event was always the 50-yard dash. And I knew that Kathy Rick was going to be in that, and I was going to be in it for my classroom. And when they called us to the line, we gave each other a little glance, and they said, "On your mark," and I got down into a 4-point stance like there was blocks there, but there was no blocks. I thought I was cooler than I was. I was hoping she would notice, and then the gun went off, and I remember as soon as it started, the race was done. And it was at that moment that I knew I was in love with competing and winning and track and field. I don't know what happened to Kathy Rick. She wasn't my first love. I just remember she was fast. But from that day on, I was in love with athletics and sports and the feeling that you can get when it goes right, and the work that goes into it. And I believe to be successful at anything, whether it's an administration, a job, being a husband or a wife or an athlete, that you have to love what you do. And I do. I love what I do. I'm one of those fortunate people that gets to go to a job that I can't wait to get in the morning. And sometimes my wife's calling me to come home at night, and I already tell her I'm in the car, even though I'm still in the office, and I run to the car as fast as I can, and that's how I stay in shape some days. But I believe to be successful, you have to love what you do. And that those that do love what they do, it's contagious. And then people want to follow you. So I think one of the reasons that my team is successful now and that we've grown to where we are is because my athletes and my assistant coaches see how much I want to be there, and then they want to be there too. The next thing I would tell you, surround yourself with people that share your goals and vision. A lot of you are here because of the people beside you tonight. I was fortunate. I grew up in a family. I was the youngest of 4, and my family was just sports nuts. I had a mom, especially, that would tell me that I could do anything no matter what I told her. I could have told her I was going to be the fastest man in the world, and she said, "Yep, you're going to do it." But she was also at the same time a person that instilled in me very hard work ethic, that you weren't going to get there by sitting on the couch. And I remember when I was a senior in high school, January, it was a Saturday morning, and I'm watching TV on the couch. It's probably 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and my mom starts coming down the stairs, and she says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm watching TV. This is what 17-year-olds do, on a Saturday." And she said, "Didn't you miss a couple free throws in last night's basketball game?" And I did. We won. But she said, "Well, maybe you should go out and practice." So I got my stuff and I ball and went out and practiced. Mind you, this is January in Wisconsin, but she sends me out there. I live on a farm. We have a gravel driveway and this old hoop. So I went out, practiced for about 10 minutes. Before my hands, I couldn't feel them. Then I put gloves on and practiced for another 10 minutes because I knew 10 minutes wasn't going to make her happy. And I came back in. But that's the kind of family I grew up in, where we were able to celebrate our victories, but yet we were pushed every day. That led me to my next realization, that nobody gets to the top by themselves. Anything that I've done, I've had numerous people that I was standing on their shoulders that came before me. All my brothers and my sister, they were the leaders for me. Those are the people I looked up to when I grew up. I was fortunate. They taught me everything that I knew, some good things, some bad things, especially my oldest brother. He taught me some of the worst things, but I figured those out. But now I'm fortunate enough that I get a lot of credit for all those things that happen at UW-Eau Claire, but I have 15 assistant coaches that work for me every year. They do the heavy work every day. They're the ones in the trenches really doing the teaching, because a lot of them were my athletes at one time. So now I get to watch them be the teacher and on the other side of things. So that to me is really rewarding, because at the end of the day, a lot of times we're at practice and practice is done, but I still see coaches and athletes that are sitting around, they're watching film together, they're talking about technique, but a lot of times they're just joking around. And anybody that knows me knows I'm very rarely serious. So my coaches are that way too, which leads to the next part of success, joy. If you do not have joy in what you're doing, it gets very old very quick. Practice, we try to disguise the fact that we're running laps after lap after lap at practice. And it is not joyful to be running 400-meter repeats, trust me. And we have garbage buckets by the end of the line for some of the kids that aren't enjoying it even more. But if there's not joy, the kids don't stay after practice. If you're having fun, it's easy to go to the track or into the gym or onto the field, into the weight room. And if you're in there and you're in there a little extra time, the chances are you're getting better. That extra mile is a little bit easier to do when you're having fun doing it. The next thing, learn from your mistakes. Everybody's going to make them. One of the sayings that I live by is, life will never get easier. I always thought when I was 20, by the time I'm 30, life would be pretty easy. And then kids come along, or wives, and then next thing, 40, I'm like, 40 will be easy. And 40's been even harder, it seems like. And then I just turned 50, I'm like, 50's got to be when it happens. I haven't found it yet, so if anybody knows what that age is when life starts getting easier, let me know so I can look forward to that. But you get better at life. And you get better at life and athletics by learning through your mistakes. So the next time they come, and it's always the same issues, right? The same things happen. So the next time it happens, you're better at it. And the next time after that, you're even better than before. So experience is invaluable. So now that, like you sitting in here that are seniors, a lot of times you're the best athletes on your team. But it's not always because of physical development. It's because you've gone through all the things and learned what not to do, just as much as what to do. It's hard to tell freshmen that. You know, they got to learn on their own a little bit and that's why they're freshmen. The next to last thing I'll tell you is you have to be organized in what you do to be successful. I was fortunate. I went to Platteville at a time when Bo Ryan was the head basketball coach there. If you don't know who that is and you're too young, ask your parents. But he went on to be the head basketball coach at Wisconsin and was very successful in his tenure there. And I actually had him for a class. I had him for basketball coaching class. And one of his sayings that has stuck with me from the time I had that class was, plan your work and work your plan. If you don't have a plan, it's hard to go to work. So for me, as a coach now, I have every workout that all my athletes are going to do set before the season even starts. And I send it to them because I want them to be able to plan every day. So when I go to bed at night, the last thing I'm thinking about, other than watching one more TikTok maybe, yeah, I have TikTok, but is what am I going to be doing the next day? There's going to be surprises, right? It's like going on a vacation with your family. Your mom and dad might have every day planned out, and then dad takes a wrong turn somewhere, or mom wants to stop one more place, okay? You got to be flexible, but it helps to have a plan. The last thing I would tell you is celebrate your victories. This one was a hard one for me to learn because I was a perfectionist, and I think most people that are very good at their sport want to be perfect every time. My example of this was, I went to nationals 4 years in college in the 400 hurdles. My first year I went to nationals as a freshman, I thought I was God's gift to track and field. I was going to go there and win a national title as a freshman. I didn't make the finals. Thought I learned my lesson. Sophomore year, went back, didn't make the finals. Junior year, go back, make the finals with the best time in the nation by a second, take third in the finals. By my senior year, I think I had figured it out. I'd learned what not to do. Win the race, win a national title. It wasn't my fastest time of the year, so I walked off the track disgusted with myself. Didn't celebrate at all. Everybody around me is elated for me, and I'm not celebrating. I wish I could go back and celebrate a little bit more. So now, I've won 5 national titles with our men's team at UW Eau Claire, and one of the things that happens when you win sometimes is the kids will find a bucket of Gatorade and dump it on you. Okay, and if you've seen that on TV, trust me, it's just like you think it is. It is freezing. It is uncomfortable. You don't realize it. It is sticky, especially when it starts to dry a little bit. But I used to run away from it. And the last couple times, I just let them do it. Because you should see how much fun it is for them. And to be honest, in a way, I've earned it. And I like it. I don't like the next hour where I'm doing interviews and taking pictures and I'm soaking wet. But I enjoy that moment for them. And that's what you're doing here tonight. Celebrating. And you should. So don't let tonight go by without feeling accomplished. Because you're here for a reason. And you should be celebrating that. There's time to be critical of yourself, but this isn't one of those times. Again, I want to thank you for helping me be part of this celebration. I wish you the best of luck the rest of your years here, and go Blue Golds.
Thank you, Coach Snyder. Great message for our kids and our families tonight, and very much appreciative. I too I'll piggyback off that and talk about my first love that I had growing up, and I still do to this day, and it's Cheetos. And I love those goddamn things. So, I wish it was competition, but it's not. We're going to start now with recognizing our great kids here in our conference, and I get to be lucky enough to go first tonight. What I also have to do, because I forgot to mention Osceola, and I'm sure the 2 great coaches we have over there will not talk to me for a while, but also this last year, Osceola went to state for both boys and girls in cross country, so we can't forget that either, so thank you guys. And Amory in girls too. They actually beat us at sectionals, and we got them at state, but I cheered for both of you that weekend. Up first, recognizing our female recipient. She is a 4-time Middle Border Conference champ. There are many other accolades. She's a 4-time state qualifier. You talk about her track accolades, what she has done. You read it in your program. What I try to do up here when I talk about the kids, I try to put it to one word or maybe a phrase or whatnot, and it was hard for me to do with Rachel. There's been many. But the one thing I will say for her is determined with a slight pinch of spunk, right? And I go back to, there's many times when I've been coaching here in the Middle Border, watching as a fan, whatever, that you become inspired. And last year at the Middle Border Conference meet, I don't know if you were there or not, and I can't remember, it was the 800 or the mile or the 2 mile you ran in, the 2 mile. All of a sudden I see her coming down the stretch, and she's usually in the lead or battling. All of a sudden I see her, she's running, pukes in ball and turf. And we all know, they've been there too, I would say a majority of our kids would have probably walked right off and quit and stopped and whatever, and she kept going. And she kept going for the team. And it just showed me a lot, and it's one of those things of just it's inspiring to watch and be a part of. And also just the great attitude she brings to our athletic family every day. And so, without saying much more here, I'd like to recognize Rachel Ulrich. So I have this.
Thanks, Newt. So, high school academics and athletics have taught me the value of hard work and persistence. For both athletics and academics, I've learned through hard work that practice lays the foundation for improvement. However, I've also learned that things don't always go as planned. In academics, there's been tests where I didn't score as high as I hoped, or subjects that I didn't understand. In sports, I've had challenges and illnesses that have caused me to not perform as anticipated. It could have been easy to give up and feel like all the effort and time were for nothing, but I've come to realize that this is never the case. Sports have taught me that continuing to push through and giving it your all is the only option. My role model, Miss Ellefson, has been one of the many people in my life that have taught me these lessons. Throughout high school, she has played a role in my life as a teacher, assistant coach in cross country, and head coach in track. What inspires me most about Miss Ellefson is her determination, work ethic, and passion for science. She has influenced me to major in biochemistry and enter the medical field through her classes. Since day one, Ellefson has always been one of my biggest supporters. I am beyond grateful for all that she has done for me and others at Osceola.
Next up, our male recipient, three-sport athlete, multiple state qualifier in cross country and track, and this last year was part of our boys basketball team, which had a phenomenal year for us, is Dylan Saluski. Dylan, when I talk about a word or a phrase, what comes to me is well-rounded. I remember there was a time, I think it was last year, Dylan, that actually my daughter came home and made a comment about you being a nice boy. I said, there are no such things as a nice boy, Madeline. So we'll let that go from there. But I remember being in Osceola for a lot of years now, going by, we have our baseball fields that are next to our district office. And Dylan didn't end up playing baseball in high school, but I can remember watching him and his dad playing catch, his dad pitching to him all the time, probably in your 4th, 5th, 6th grade, coming up through the ranks of our travel teams. And just the work ethic, the desire to be the best he can be, but more than that, he is a great teammate. And you see that with the kids, and you watch it, like last night, I just watching the kids around and the people that are always around him, and being a great teammate. I'm sure he's a great family member, of course, right? And a great leader in our school, being a link leader, being a mentor, and just being an overall great kid. Dylan Saluski.
Good evening. I'm proud to be here today to represent Osceola High School at this event. Like everyone else here, I've had the opportunity to be a part of great teams. Through athletics, I have learned that a team can achieve more than any individual. Many people think of track and cross country as individual sports. Without my teammates being there to support each other, we wouldn't have had any of the amount of success that we did. I'd like to thank my dad for always being there to support me and be my role model as well. He has always pushed me to be my best and was there to humble me when I needed it. I'd also like to thank all of my coaches for what they have done for me as well. You held me to high standards and also made sure that there was fun along the way. Competing in cross country, basketball, and track these past 4 years will leave me with memories that I will never forget because of you. So thank you.
Up next, Prescott and Mr. Andrew Caudill.
It's always tough to follow Scott Newton. So first, we'll recognize our female nominee for Prescott, Brianna Stutz. Bree Stutz is one of the toughest and driven students I've had the pleasure to work with. Bree has been a successful athlete and a model student during her time at Prescott High School. As a member of the basketball and golf program, she has been a part of many conference, regional, and sectional championships, and she helped Prescott earn 3 state championships in girls golf. My lasting memory of Bree is what she accomplished at the girls golf state championship this past fall. She struggled on day 1 and had one of the toughest performances of her career. Coming back on day 2, she accomplished the single greatest turnaround in WIA state championship history and helped Prescott overcome a 16-stroke deficit on the final 3 holes to win our 3rd state title in a row. The mental toughness displayed by Ree was well beyond her years. Ree will attend Kutztown University and play golf and major in marine biology. Please welcome Ree Stutz.
Hi. Athletics and academic experiences have taught me throughout life the importance of integrity, work ethic, motivation, and commitment. But the lessons that have stuck with me the most have been the points of teamwork, communication, and resilience. There's been one person I've played with my whole life that's shown all this. Her name was Elizabeth Roll. Liz and I played at girls basketball and girls golf together for 3 years. Liz is the epitome of a student athlete and leader. She encourages her teammates to get better in both academics and athletics. She's a hard worker in everything she does, and she never gives up. I've never seen anyone take over a room like Liz. She is also a genuine person. She cares for her friends and families with her whole heart. She is someone you can talk to about anything. Liz is one of the best leaders, students, athletes, and friends I've ever had, and I look up to her in all aspects of life. I hope one day I can be like Elizabeth Roll and get the opportunity to be someone else's role model. Thank you.
Prescott's male nominee will be Tyler Laux. Tyler is a terrific young man that is respectful, positive, and a very hard worker. When I hear teachers talk about Tyler, they all say the same thing. He works very hard and is determined to be successful. Tyler's hard work has led to his success both in the classroom and in his 2 chosen sports, track and cross country. Tyler has been a major part of Prescott's recent success in both track and cross country. Tyler qualified for the cross country state championship in 2021 and 2022, becoming Prescott's first ever cross country runner to place in the top 10 to earn a spot on the podium in 2021. I'll always remember that day to see Tyler's success and also to see Stephanie Hauser stop the podium picture to take the John Deere hat off of Tyler's head. Anytime I see or hear that reminder from the WIA, I think about Tyler. Tyler's achievements have played a major role in the growth of our track and cross country programs, as we have seen over 100% increase in participation in both sports at our middle school level. Tyler will attend North Dakota State College of Science and major in advanced applied science to become a John Deere Ag Tech. Please welcome Tyler Laux.
I tell you what, I didn't prepare no speech like everyone else. I thought this was going to be a little more laid back, but I'm going to do what we call #winging it, and I just want to start out by saying a huge thanks to my coaches and my friends, and most importantly, my competition. Rachel, I can't see you in the crowd, but I tell you what, a lot of our girls are scared of you, so be proud of that. The person I wanted to thank the most isn't here tonight. He is my mentor at the John Deere Stealership, and what he has taught me most about myself is that I didn't know before I got into the trade how determined I am to never give up and always find the answer to what it is I'm looking for. It is almost every time that I have a project placed upon me that I have to ask for help after being reminded that he is there, because it will take me 3 hours with no success, and he's always there asking if I need help. And sometimes it's hard to ask for help, which I had to also learn about myself. But he was always there, just like my coaches, my family, my friends. I know this speech was very impromptu. I hope I got my point across, and thank you to St. Croix Central for the hospitality and everyone else for coming out tonight.
Next up will be Mr. Jason Sell and Baldwin Woodville.
Hi there, I'm Jason Sell from Bolden Woodville High School, and our nominees are Marnie Romild and Mason Werner. Marnie first. First of all, I'd just like to thank her parents, Mark and Amy, and then her coaches that are here tonight, Lance and Shannon Com, and Coach Holly. Thanks for being here tonight. First of all, with Marnie. Marnie, three-sport letter winner in volleyball, basketball, and softball. She is hugely tall. I don't know if you noticed that. But what she lacks in height, she makes up for in her spirit. She's a true leader of her classmates, of her teams, and she's a true leader at our school. And Marnie, I want to thank you very much for your leadership and everything that you've done for us at Bolden Woodville. Marnie Romild.
The greatest lessons I've learned in high school, academically and athletically, are how to manage my time, how to be a teammate, and the benefits of being a hard worker. I've learned the tools to be successful in both areas, and they're very similarly and closely related. Getting up early to be in the weight room, having a full day of school, balancing assignments and practices, and then competing in a sporting event has taught me to be prepared and to use my time wisely and efficiently. Being a valued teammate takes communication, care, and commitment. These skills will transfer into my role in college and in a future career, whether working with peers, professors, or coworkers. At a younger age, I started working hard to become the athlete I am now by putting in time in the weight room, attending open gyms, and having a ball in my hand any chance I could in and outside the season. My extra time and dedication have led me to be both successful in athletics and academics. I've learned that hard work, no matter where it is applied, does pay off. This has given me the strong foundation to continue this path as I become a college athlete and one day a special education teacher. I'm beyond grateful for the experiences and memories that athletics and academics have brought to me and prepared for the future. Secondly, I would choose my brother as my role model because of his work ethic, efficiency, and his confidence in everything he does. Whether it was on the court or in a classroom, Ross always pushed himself to be the best. Not only does Ross push himself to be better in athletics and academics, he also pushes everyone around him to be better and learn to push themselves as well. I've experienced this myself growing up and following Ross's lead in whatever he was doing. He made me strong and independent, where I now know how to help myself be a better individual while helping those around me. Thank you.
I think she's going to be a great teacher someday. Next up, Mason Werner. Mason, parents here tonight, and then coaches Kiefer, Coach Haney, and Coach Benoit. Thanks for being here tonight to support Mason and congratulate and celebrate with him. Again, a great message, Coach Richardson from UW Eau Claire. And one other thank you I want to send out to Renee Chapik. She's been carrying on this tradition for the Scholar Athlete Banquet, and her and her colleagues got this started, and we've kept it rolling. And Renee, we're in debt to you and everything you've done for Middle Border Conference athletics. For Mason, Mason is a three-sport letter winner in football, basketball, and baseball. He would be probably your Joe Cool, Joe Burrow kind of guy. He is super cool in a lot of different moments, has a lot of confidence in himself and his abilities. Overall, just a great leader at our school, Mason Werner.
Thank you, Mr. Sell. The greatest lessons I've learned in high school are how I handle losses and setbacks in life and to not take things for granted. While I've had a lot of success in high school, both academically and athletically, it hasn't happened without a lot of struggle at the same time. Losing the first round of baseball playoffs and losing the sectional final basketball game were very devastating losses. Suffering from a fracture in each of my sophomore, junior, and senior years have been very hard to overcome. However, I've learned it's not how It's how I respond to these events that makes the biggest difference, and realize it's what I put in is what I'll get back. While most high school athletes won't suffer through 3 injuries during their high school careers, most will never experience a sectional playoff game either. Wins and success are never guaranteed in life, but it's how I handle losses and setbacks that will make the biggest impact on both my future athletically and academically. For my role model, I chose my dad. This is because I've looked up to him my whole life. Ever since I was young, my dad has taught me everything, from fielding ground balls to doing my own oil changes. I remember hearing stories about how good he was at baseball back in his day, and I wanted to be just like him, and even better. My dad would play catch with me, both football or baseball, almost whenever I asked him to. He pushed me to work harder than others so I could be in a more successful position. I admire the way he takes care of our family and how hard he works at his job. There are plenty more reasons I look up to him, but this is why my dad is my role model. Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Brian Johnson from St. Croix Central.
Caitlin Carlson and Jacob Behrens are St. Croix Central's award winners. Caitlin first, come on over here. I guess we're putting these medals on this year. The Carlson family's been involved in our track and cross-country programs here at SEC for many years. Her sisters are here, so glad they could join us. Caitlin has continued that tradition for her family. She's a standout in cross-country and the distance events in track. She's a 4-time letter winner in cross-country, 3-time letter winner in track, and is a 4-time academic letter winner in our school. In cross-country, she's a captain, our team MVP twice, multiple-time all-conference, multiple-time all-state, multiple-time academic all-state, and placed 9th individually at the state tournament or state meet her freshman year. In track, she's a 3-time letter winner. She didn't have a spring season her freshman year due to COVID. She was all-conference honorable mention in our 4x8, a sectional qualifier in a 1,600-meter race, and a regional champ and sectional 5th place winner in the 3,200-meter race. This year, we are happy to have her sign her letter of intent to run cross-country and track at St. Thomas University. I'm sure you find this hard to believe. I'm not a runner. I can't imagine forcing myself to run long distances or short distances for that matter, especially in the rain or shine or heat or humidity, to train and train and train and train like Caitlin has done for so many years. On race day, our distance runners push themselves to the point of exhaustion, foam at the mouth, and nearly pass out at the finish line. I think that's what I admire most about our distance runners is their mental toughness, their ability to go farther and faster than they've ever done before. And I think that those qualities are going to suit Caitlin very well in whatever she chooses to do once she's done competing. SEC's 2023 Female Scholar Athlete, Caitlin Carlson.
My grandma carries 2 very important qualities: optimism and gratitude. This woman has been through some of life's biggest challenges, yet she carries a smile on her face through it all. Despite these challenges, she has an incredible ability to focus on the things she has been gifted with in life, which is why she's my role model. Life can be unfair, but she would never dwell on that. Instead, she focuses on what makes her happy, like the birds that visit outside her window, and I love it. I tend to struggle with positivity, especially in my athletics. My family will attest to that. I can often focus on the negatives in a situation, but I have found that this does not lead to a very fulfilling life. Therefore, I look up to my grandma for her optimism. Instead of letting life get the best of me, I strive to look for the positives in things as she does.
Jacob Behrens, everybody. Around here, everyone knows Jacob Behrens as Jakey B. He's a 4-time academic winner, earned 3 letters in football, 4 in wrestling, 3 in track, and 3 in powerlifting. He was academic all-state in football and wrestling, and was a two-time all-conference winner in wrestling as well as second-team all-region. He's an all-conference lineman in football and a state qualifier in powerlifting. When he's not competing, Jake is a gentle giant. I think one of the most impressive traits I've seen of Jake has nothing to do with his strength or his skill as an athlete, but rather his willingness to give back. On Saturdays in the fall, you'll see him wearing his bucket hat, volunteering to help coach our elementary flag football teams. During the winter, multiple days during the week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, when he's not competing on Thursdays, you'll find him in our wrestling room or after practice helping our pre-K and kindergartners, our first and second graders, and our third through fifth graders as they learn how to wrestle. I'm so impressed by his ability as a high school student that he already understands the value of giving back to your community and the programs that help you become what you are. Very proud to announce St. Croix Central's male scholar athlete, Jakey B.
Contrary to what most would believe, growing up I was not the most academically or athletically gifted child, but I was privileged to be able to watch several amazing athletes here at Central. The one I noticed probably the most was easily my older brother, Nathan Behrens, sitting over there. He was often out of the spotlight in sports and academics. However, if there's one thing I was able to learn from him, it was how to work hard. I recall several instances in my middle school years where he'd be up writing an essay when I went to bed, and before I woke up the next morning, he'd be gone lifting. He was able to help lead his team to state 3 times, as well as earn the nickname Otto 6 on the wrestling team after pinning so many of his opponents. And after seeing my brother accomplish so much, I had the goal of any little brother, do what my big brother did, but better. So I lifted every morning, halted very shortly by the pandemic. I worked hard in practice and in class, knowing one-upping my brother would be no cakewalk. Whether I succeeded it or not is still debatable. However, my quest to win our sibling rivalry, I learned discipline and the value of hard work. Most of all, I found success and was able to develop as a person, as well as find my own motivation for pursuing greatness.
Thank you both. And now up from Altoona, my esteemed colleague and the pride of Athens High School, Alyssa Upward.
I don't think he'll ever let me forget Athens. Not that I want to forget Athens. I'm very proud of Athens, but also, Brian, I'm very much younger than you, so just put that out there. All right, so I wanted to say congratulations to all the student athletes representing your school tonight. Your commitment to your education while dominating the sports field is just remarkable. My name is Alyssa Upward, and I'm the Director of Athletics and Activities for Altoona. And then I would also like to just thank all the MBC schools, the athletic directors, staff, students, and their communities. As you know, this is Altoona's second year, and it's been a positive experience just transitioning into the conference. I also wanted to just thank the Altoona students, their families, staff, and coaches for being here tonight to show your support. So to start, Kennedy Tripler. Kendi is the daughter of Scott and Tracy Tripler, and one of the busiest students I think I have ever met. So she has learned to balance academics, athletics, and activities, participating in volleyball, basketball, and softball, while being the student council president, member of the National Honor Society, and Interact Club. So just today, I was like, hey, by any chance, can you just give me a couple of those community service hours that you had? And she said, sure, and I was like, just give me a time frame, right? So through these activities, logging 61 hours just between August of 2021 to November of 2022, and you can imagine there were many hours before that, and there were still many hours after that. That's just the kind of leader that this girl is. and it just makes me really proud to be up here talking about you right now. So having earned 8 varsity letters, Kennedy celebrated a co-conference championship with her team in volleyball this past season and has earned all-conference recognition during volleyball and basketball. She works hard towards her goals. She's always kind to others and just a role model to everyone around her. So following graduation, Kennedy will be attending Grand Canyon University and majoring in nursing. Here's Kennedy.
All right, so one of the greatest lessons I've learned in high school through academics and athletics is that nothing is given. It's granted through hard work. I've spent countless hours staying up all night studying for tests and exam, and many hours improving my athletic skills. I knew if I didn't put the hard work into everything I do, my parents, myself, and my community wouldn't be proud. I always give 100% every moment I step on the court and every pencil I pick up. I want to show the youth what it means to work hard, be a leader, and a good person in and out of the classroom. Everyone deserves someone who puts the team first and does the right thing when no one is watching. Most importantly, I've learned character is the most valuable thing a person can have. And my role model that guided me through athletic and academic career is my mom. She's got me through hardships that students face. From basketball, volleyball, and softball, she has always been in the stands cheering me on and believing in me when I don't. She sat with me many nights teaching me her ways. And above all, she has shown me the importance of being a good person while facing extreme obstacles, along with finding solutions to something I think is impossible. Thank you.
All right, and then next is Colin Boyarski. So Colin is the son of Jason and Marcy Boyarski. As a student, he is motivated and a well-rounded athlete who has earned 10 varsity letters in football, wrestling, and baseball. And I think anyone that looks at his athletic accolades would just see that this guy is a force to be reckoned with on the playing field. That 1,000 yards rushing in the fall of 2021 was quite the achievement, and had it not been for that ankle injury, he would have had it this year, and we all knew that too. But throughout his high school career, Colin has volunteered as a freshman mentor, served as youth ambassador of the Eau Claire Energy Co-op, and is a favorite reader at our elementary school. And as I say this, it's important to note that just despite all of his achievements, he has remained so humble and has led with respect and humility, and has really just showed what it means to inspire others. So this fall, Colin will be attending UW Eau Claire, go Blue Golds, playing football and majoring in accounting. Here's Colin.
First, I would like to thank athletics and my coaches for teaching me to be confident in myself and as a leader, not only in athletics, but in school, out of school, and in the community as well. I'd also like to thank my father. I strive to be just like him in many ways, personally, professionally, athletically, and as a leader. My dad, Jason Boyarski, is my role model. He continues to demonstrate and has demonstrated leadership and a strong work ethic his whole life. From captain of a state football championship team to vice president of the quarterback club and volunteering his time out of his busy schedule to organize and lead teams throughout the community. There is no doubt he has had a large impact on my life and is an asset to our community. He is the best dad, friend, and man I know. Today he advises me how to involve myself in the community, push myself in the weight room, work in the classroom, and strive to be the best version of myself each and every day. I'd like to appreciate my dad, my role model, for both pushing me and teaching me how to be a better athlete, a better leader, and a better person overall. Thank you.
And then, Colin, I just have one little surprise for you because it's like our final hurrah. I asked his mom to do this. Thank you, Marcy. All right, up next, Amory's own warrior, Jeff Fern.
I thought that cowbell was my introduction. This is always a very humbling experience. I was never considered to be a scholar athlete or ever in the conversation, so it's great to be surrounded by all of you tonight. And I did figure out tonight after listening to Chip's introduction that I will never be a keynote speaker at this event either. Congrats to the class of 2023. My name is Jeff Fern. Yes, I am the athletic director in the school district of Amory. The class of 2023 female scholar athlete is Grace Carlson. Grace is the daughter of Alan and Beth Carlson. Grace is an accomplished three-sport athlete who has earned a total of 10 letters in cross country, basketball, and track while maintaining a 3.98 GPA. She has participated at the state cross country meet twice and received Middle Border All-Conference awards as an individual in basketball, cross country, and track. Grace is an athlete who has demonstrated grit, dedication, and has truly worked for everything she has earned. Grace's basketball coach, Coach Brotzel, he's here tonight. He's described Grace as a hardworking kid that is willing to be coached. He went on to say, she takes the advice you give her and uses it to get better each day. It has been a pleasure to coach her these last 4 years. Next year, Grace will be attending Tiffin University in Ohio and will major in criminal justice and play basketball for the Dragons. Folks, help me congratulate Miss Grace Carlson.
I've learned many things about being a student athlete. I've learned that to be a successful student athlete, being a student comes first, and that requires a lot of self-discipline. When studying for an AP exam or working on a big essay, I've been able to manage my time, and that has been very important. I will continue to use these time management skills in my future. I've learned to balance my academic and athletic life while taking these difficult classes. When I step into practice or a game, my focus has to switch to an athlete mindset, and that anything that has to do with academics is not my focus. Two people that have helped me do this are my parents. My parents have always been my biggest role models because they always push me to put academics first. They've encouraged me to do my best in school and my sports. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Grace. The class of 2023 male scholar athlete is Blue Anderson. Blue is the son of Shelley and Dave Anderson. Blue is a well-rounded athlete who has earned 8 letters in soccer, hockey, and golf while maintaining a 3.79 GPA. Blue is a very talented and smooth athlete. Nothing looks more natural and effortless than watching Blue swing a golf club. Blue is a 2-time first-team All-MBC selection in golf. Last spring, Blue was also named the MBC Co-Player of the Year and honorable mention All-State for boys golf. Blue is eager for the 72 inches of snow to melt on the Amory golf course this spring so he can begin his senior year campaign. Blue's golf coach, Mr. Bill Peterson, is joined by his wife tonight, described Blue as the hardest working player on the team. Coach said he by far spends the most time practicing trying to reach his expectations, which is essentially perfection. Coach added Blue is a selfless leader and is willing to spend time assisting his teammates with improving their game. Next fall, Blue will be headed to UW Superior, where there's no snow, where he will major in psychology and play golf for the Yellow Jackets. Ladies and gentlemen, help me congratulate Blue Anderson.
Wow. Some of the greatest life lessons that I learned throughout high school was I always tried to be a perfectionist, and that doesn't really work out the best. Do the best you can. You can't really. It's hard to mess up when you're trying to do the best and try and learn the best you can. My role model was Steve Wilhelm. Steve was my personal coach for golf all throughout high school and middle school. He's not just my coach, but he's also my friend, and I've learned so much from him. My parents, also amazing role models. I cannot thank them enough for raising me and giving me discipline. Thank you.
All right, up next from Ellsworth, we're going to honor our Purple Panthers, Adam Koger.
All right, thanks for coming out tonight, everybody. Our 2023 Girls Scholar Athlete is Miss Ashlyn Townsend. She has been a pleasure to teach and to coach, and I'm just going to go with a couple of words, dedication and positive. Ashlyn shows up to practice, shows up to school every day with a positive attitude. It rubs off on her classmates and her teammates. And then to transition into the dedication. She has gone so far as the basketball world goes, as to jump into the officiating realm. So no, ADs, we are not going to offer her up to you. And lastly, my one favorite memory of Ashlyn is in the coaching realm last year in track. And we would be going through block starts. And as soon as she would come out of the blocks, finish her 40, she'd be running back, Coach, did you get that one? Because I would be filming. And so her attention to detail and always looking to improve is going to take her places, which is why I'm proud to present her with this year's Scholar Athlete Award.
The greatest lessons that I have learned in my high school career through athletics and academics is one, to never give up, and two, that it is okay to fail. I have learned that even when life gets tough, you should never give up, because no matter what happens, life goes on with or without you. So it's best to just keep on going. Moving on, failing may be hard, and so is accepting that. But in reality, everyone fails at some point. So I see failing as necessary because it is how you learn valuable life lessons, and it's what's helped you to grow as a person. For the final question, my role model is my dad. Ever since I was a little kid, I always looked up to him, and I still do. My dad is incredible, and he has made so many sacrifices for me over the years. Over the years, my dad has always been there for me and has helped me by supporting me by coming to my games, helping me the best that he can with my homework, giving me great advice, and being easy to talk to. And finally, he has shown me what hard work and determination is, which has led me to a lot of success in my academic and athletic career. Thank you.
All right, up next, our male recipient, Anthony Madsen. I'm going to trust that you've read your program and can see all of his wonderful statistics. I won't bore you with those, although there are many. Again, I'm going to choose to focus on the character of Mr. Anthony Madsen. Humble and driven are two words that come to mind when I think of Anthony. Driven in that he shows up and does the right thing every single day. I'm one of the first to school as far as the weight room side of things, and Anthony is always there demonstrating to our young athletes what it looks like to be a leader and to be successful. And then as far as the humble part goes, I had some conversations with some of our new staff members in the lunchroom the other day, and they had no idea that Anthony was an athlete. And that's not a dig. But they saw/heard Anthony coming down the hallway one morning as he finally was sporting his letter jacket. And I think he might have even worn it tonight. But the thing that sticks out to me about Anthony is his humble nature, in that he does not promote himself as an athlete. He just shows up and does the right thing every day. So our 2023 Scholar Athlete, Anthony Madsen.
Yeah, I'm going to start off and say this medal is definitely going back on that Letterman jacket. So I actually learned that from at state wrestling. I saw a few kids walking around chinging down the halls, so I was like, I got to do that. So built up my medals this year and started putting them on there thanks to my mom. But the biggest thing I'd say from my high school career that I've learned is patience and hard work. You don't get your success and results through the first day or the first practice. It's the constant work behind the scenes when no one else is there that really helps you get that success. Being a wrestler, you know how much hard work you have to put in to actually be successful, and it's very easy to get hard and down on yourself. But to keep that constant hard work, it eventually pays off. And my big role model is my dad, because he always brought me to the baseball field, mess around, hit some baseballs, go home, mess around again a little bit more. He was always there to show me how to act and how to be professional. He also kept me humble and not to brag off and be the normal jock kid, but to be very sound in my athletics and in my academics. So thank you guys.
All right, rounding things out here is Mr. Trent Probst from Somerset.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Trent Probst. I'm the athletic director at Somerset. Congratulations to all of our scholar athletes tonight on an amazing high school career, and good luck in the future. I have the privilege and honor tonight to recognize our scholar athletes from Somerset. This is my fifth year as athletic director, but fourth year being able to do this due to the COVID year in 2020. Our female scholar athlete this year is Mia Olson. Mia is an 8-time letter winner in cross country and in girls basketball at Somerset. She's an extremely well-rounded student athlete, obviously with great academic achievements. She's involved with rodeo and a tremendous singer. You may recognize her from games at Somerset, from stepping in to sing the national anthem very well on several occasions. What I'm going to miss most about Mia is just her leadership qualities and what she's brought to our programs. She's a kid that committed herself in the weight room every morning, hardly ever missing a workout, Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays when there wouldn't be lifting, helping bring younger players along to the gym to work on their shooting and organizing pickup games. I can actually recall a morning where our gym was being set up for some sort of event because unfortunately, up until last night, we didn't have an auditorium. Thank you, Somerset voters. But anyways, it was one of those several mornings where the gym's getting used for some other purpose, for some sort of event, and the gym wasn't available. Well, Mia and a couple of other girls took it upon themselves to move themselves down to the middle school and still get their work in. Those types of things pay dividends for our girls' basketball program, as she was a part of those teams. They were 2-time regional champions and multiple times academic all-state. Congratulations, Mia.
Being a part of my high school cross-country and basketball teams is one of the best decisions I have ever made. These sports have taught me the importance of determination and putting a collective group above myself. I learned that a good team loves each other more than any mistake that you can make, and that when you have a strong bond with your teammates, you play harder because you can look around and know that this game is about more than just yourself. Through sports, I have formed some of the strongest friendships and have made some of my greatest memories. And while I look forward to college and all that it brings, I will always miss being a part of high school athletics. A lot of people have impacted my athletic journey. However, when I thought about who I was going to select for my athletic role model, one person came to mind: Coach Bruce Larson. Coach Larson was the type of person who had a positive influence on everyone around him, and I'm so glad that I was able to be a part of that. He made an impact on not only my athletic journey, but also my work ethic and my personality as a whole. His influence has shaped me into the person I am today because Coach Larson was more than a sports coach. He was a life coach. He pushed me to my limits every morning in 0-hour weightlifting and taught me how to continue to push myself in all aspects of my life. He taught me that although you always want to put your best out on the court, at the end of the day, the thing that truly matters are the life lessons learned and taught through high school athletics. Because that is what you take with you after high school. Not winning or losing that game, but how it felt to play as a team and truly love and care about all of your teammates. I will forever be grateful that I got to experience his positive influence, and I hope that one day I can become a coach and impact athletes even half as much as he had an impact on me.
Our male scholar athlete this year is Owen Parnell. Owen has earned 7 varsity letters over the course of his high school career in football, boys hockey, and in baseball. Owen was a member of the first state team in boys hockey history at Somerset. This year as a senior, Owen earned the Hobie Baker Character Award for the Somerset boys hockey team. Having had him as a middle school Phi Ed student, I've been able to see him grow up over the years, and I can truly say that he's had that strong character all the way back in 6th grade. One thing I will miss about him next year is his distinct sense of humor. Congratulations, Owen.
Hello. Much like my other scholar athlete from Prescott, I did not write out my speech that I'm going to do, but as he said, hashtag wing it. So something that high school sports have taught me throughout like my whole life for playing them is how to take criticism and how to take those bad things you may do and turn them into good things. Like going out there on the ice and you make a mistake, you come back and just listening to what your coaches have to say and really taking that to heart. And I think that applies not only to sports but also to school as well, with things like writing and reading and math and stuff like that, and just taking those criticisms and turning them towards something positive. Along with that, I've also taken away from high school sports is that those people that you play with are more than just your friends or your teammates, they're your family. And I think that that's kind of the thing that's kept me going in sports this whole time, is just making family members and just loving the people you play with. Much like Mia, my role model was my coach, Bruce Larson. I've been doing weightlifting with him since like 6th grade. And for as long as I can remember, he's one of the very first people who really put effort into me and saw me as the athlete and the academic achievements, whatever that I could be. And he always, in practice and in weightlifting, had a saying, and it was student athlete, and that student always comes first, and that, to be a good athlete overall, you have to be a good student, and that we will not play on his teams, and we won't be doing workouts for him if we're not doing good in the classroom. And even though he's no longer with us anymore, I really do think that the lessons that he's taught me and everybody at my school will really be carried on forever, and I just hope that I can become something close to what he was one day. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I would like to bring up Mr. Brian Johnson for closing remarks.
Like I said earlier in the cafeteria, this truly is one of my favorite nights of the year. Much like Jeff, when I was in high school, St. Croix Central grad in 1999, I was not a scholar nor very much of an athlete. And so hearing all these accomplishments and the work that our students have put in, and also their maturity and poise as they address you, it's completely humbling. Our auditorium tonight's filled with the best of the best and the greatness that our schools and our conference have to offer. I firmly believe the accomplishments that these students have presented on tonight will pale in comparison to what these amazing people will do in the future. A lot of thank yous tonight. First, thanks to the tremendous student athletes for representing your schools and our conference so well. Thank their coaches, their teachers, and of course their families for your influence and guidance that you've provided over the years to get these kids to this point. It's obvious you've done a remarkable job. I want to thank Mitchell Donahue, who's our new auditorium director. This is his first ever Scholar Athlete Banquet, and we haven't missed a beat. Looks great, lighting's great, sound is great. Awesome job in preparation, Mitchell. Thank you very much. A big thank you to Renee Chapik for all of her work and organization to make this happen, and also for her vision, her past vision to get this event up and running. I want to thank Pete Vries for his endless efforts in finding us officials and scheduling all of our events. And thank you to Chip for giving up his time to be here tonight. What an amazing message to our student athletes. My fellow ADs, thank you for working so hard to continue to provide these amazing opportunities for our students. You are the best in the business, even you, Newton. Scott Newton. He might not even be here. He probably ran out. Panther Catering, Miss Courtney Hawkins and her students, thank you for the preparation of the food and providing us with an amazing meal. I'm sure I missed someone, so please forgive me. Jason Sells, my mentor, and I'm going to blame him for my shortcomings. So with that, we come to the close of our 2023 Middle Border Scholar Athlete Ceremony. To the athletes, well done, but please know this is not the end. This is barely the beginning. You've set yourselves up for unlimited and unimaginable levels of success. All that is left for you to do is take those lessons that have gotten you here and bring them with you to your universities, your careers, and to your future. I'm a notorious procrastinator, and so as I was trying to prepare these closing remarks, I was stuck, and I started, and I deleted, and I started, and I deleted. That was at like 2:30 today, and we had a meeting at 3, and I'm like, man, I need somebody to bail me out here. And I got up out of my chair in my office, and I went out to the copier, and I found this in the copier. I think it was Mr. Nussbaum's, and I'm like, man, this is just what I was looking for. And so I took it, and I want to read it to you tonight because it's the exact message I wanted, and it's something I think so many of you in here already have, and I just want you to remember it and take it with you. It's about a champion mindset, and so here's what it says. A champion mindset's not about being gifted or talented. It's about being prepared, focused, disciplined, and having a deep, unshakable belief in oneself. The reality is that some days you'll feel great, and some days you'll feel terrible. Some days you'll be inspired, and some days you can't even find the motivation to get out of bed. But here's what really matters. You have a vision, and you believe in yourself, because there is no limit to what you can achieve. Your vision will drive you. Your job is to create a vision that makes you want to leap out of bed each morning and to attack the day. So to our scholar athletes, families, coaches, friends, ADs, congratulations. Get out there and keep being awesome. Thank you so much. And we do every year, we'll slide this podium out of the way. We do want to get the scholar athletes up to take pictures. You can take pictures with family. We want one big group picture. We'll take pictures with families. We'll take pictures with the other ADs. And so please stick around to make sure we get those photo ops, because that's important to celebrate, as Chip had mentioned tonight. So thanks, everybody, and let's get some pictures.